First off, I just want to welcome you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks again for being here. I know you're here for All About the Girls. You've been a long time, awesome supporter of ours. We love everything that the Chamber's doing. But today I want to focus a little bit, not necessarily on the Chamber. I really want to focus more on you. And how did you develop? And for everybody that knows you, they know exactly the role you have and the roles you've had. The role you have now at the Crossroads Chamber, leading that organization, growing that organization substantially, making it really the region's chamber. But you began in tourism and hospitality. You were a early leader in the women leadership region movement, probably ahead of the time. All of those things made you tough, made you gritty, made you resilient. Where did that little mini you begin?
Well, mini me probably really did start with my dad. My dad was an educator and he was a high school principal. He was my high school principal. So that was a different
unique challenge.
Yes, that was a challenge in itself. But my dad was a leader right off the bat. I saw those traits in a leader and how you gathered people and brought people in and, had, followers, and also so I'm sure it was my dad that raised me as a leader because he was a leader. Right. So I feel from the beginning of my informative years as a child that I was kind of probably always a leader with my friends and everything. And I attribute it to my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was an influencer in our community himself. He was a very well-respected leader in his role. And so I probably saw those traits in my dad and just, formally went the same direction. So I do, attribute my leadership skills to my dad. I've always been fairly comfortable leading people, but I feel like I also have a good ability to let the people around me lead along with me,
Okay.
which I think really helps. So early on, when I became a assistant general manager at a hotel in Indianapolis. Right after college, it was kind of my first management role. I had a really good boss there who taught me also leadership skills and how important it was to lead a team. And he taught me that your team didn't always need to like who you were, but they needed to respect who you were and want to follow you. And know that while they might not like some of the decisions that you made or some of the things that you had to maybe make them do, they knew in the end that your decisions were right and that they could respect your decisions. So that's kind of from a very early age out of college. What I've always tried to take with me is you might not like the decisions I make. Sometimes I have to be the one to make the tough decisions, but I always wanted to have respect for the team that I guided. So that's probably
sometimes you don't like the decisions you have to make.
Right.
I don't like being in this position to have to make this decision.
Right.
But I got to, in the end, be comfortable that is this the right decision to be made? And if so, let's make the best of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As you develop those leadership traits through high school, college, your beginning career, where did you see that taking you?
My degree, actually, Chris, is in journalism and PR.
We've got openings. I don't know if we're going to match the pay and benefits thing just right, but it's close.
Yeah. So I think my days and a lot of that are over. But I took the first job I could get out of college was working at a front desk at a hotel while I was trying to find my career. And I got sucked into the hospitality business and I never got out. So when I graduated from college, I wasn't sure the direction I was going to head, but obviously my path that I chose, formulated who I was and put me on the path to where I went. So I loved the hotel immediately. It was just I just got sucked in right away. I loved helping people. I loved greeting guests. I loved making sure that everybody was going to be happy with their room. I tried to find all the right scenarios, and I just gravitated to the industry very quickly. I picked up on it. I understood it. And I mean, when you have service and want to, help people, I think that service is just in your blood. And that was me. So,
and that's where you get your affirmations. Like it sounds like part of your personality lives for the affirmation of, oh, thank you very much for helping me, or I appreciate that you set up my room right, or thanks for making those plans. I mean, everybody drives affirmations from something.
Yeah. I always tried to tell people, like, if a guest is mad at you, they're not really mad at you. They're mad at the situation. So you need to take that situation and turn it around where you can then all of a sudden look like the hero. Like, don't push back at that person. They're not mad at you. Let's figure out how we can fix it.
Yep.
So, and so those are a lot of the same ways you lead, right? Let's just figure out how we can fix it together as a team, and try to, to turn the situation around. So that's kind of what I like to do. And so I moved up quickly from a front desk clerk. In 3 months, I was a supervisor, and then I was assistant general manager. And then eventually I was a general manager of my own hotel down in Indianapolis for several years. And then I realized quickly as I got older that if you stay in operations at a hotel, you work 24/7. So I flipped to sales.
You live at the hotel. Yeah.
So I'm like, sign me up for that sales role. Who does that? I want to do that. So I moved up here to Northwest Indiana and became the director of sales. I was a sales manager at the Radisson Star Plaza for about 8 years. And then I was the director of sales at the property for several years, and led a team of 13. And we were a very successful team and kept the Radisson busy. And so, yeah, I used to tell people all the time, sales in a hotel is the best job you can have, because you don't work 24/7.
Yeah.
But you still get to have all the interaction with all your customers. And once again, you're creating, events and selling, dreams for people and helping them with.
And welcoming them. I mean, you're in the hospitality business, whether it's an event or anything else. And it's interesting how that ties into what you're doing now, where you're providing a different kind of hospitality in a way, and you're welcoming and encouraging people, but you're doing it on behalf of their businesses. And I think you've done a particularly good job of taking that chamber concept and moving it not outside of the local businesses, but moving with the local businesses, and also attracting some pretty major industry and government and overall regional organizations that aren't necessarily just mom and pop local business. They're people that are making a big difference across the region. And I think that, to me, is one of the most interesting avenues that you've pushed. Is let's actually talk about some of those bigger subjects and not just get together for chicken and trade business cards.
Yeah. And I mean, we're good at chicken and trading business cards,
Chris.
You're
good at making.
We're good at it.
You're good at the chicken and business cards, but you make it fun. And I think what was lacking in some of the chamber world is you got the chicken and business cards, but it wasn't fun. And without anything else or the fun, it sort of gets old. And you guys definitely bring the fun, like your Christmas, lunch, for an example. I mean, there's not a lot of moments that don't have levity throughout that whole entire thing. But you definitely do more. You've got a women's series, you got a lunch series, you got this new series that you started up where you're bringing people together and actually really having them learn something. It's there's a lot more meat to it.
Yeah. We do really think hard at the chamber as a team, and what is going to benefit our members the most, right? Like and so we're always trying something new, and whether it works or not, or, we continue with what it is, but we really don't want to get stagnant. We definitely want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to be the same every year, because people get stagnant. You forget what the mission is, because what you did 5 years ago, while the program might be the same, things have changed so much along the way that you have to continually change, right?
Yeah.
And be up with it. So not only do we try to find the right speakers and the right education. We try to take some stances for some people, and we try to, create, we're really working and developing our workforce development committee right now, and really trying to engage the educators and to help our businesses understand why it's so important to get in the education game, because if they don't, they might not have workforce one day, and we already struggle, right? So everybody needs to work together. So we really try to be the conduit between organizations and businesses and education, so we can be impactful where the community really needs us to be, in addition to supporting our businesses all along the way and what they need to do to be supported as well. So,
and it just takes a longer, more holistic view to how we're going to do this. Of yes, we could put on a trade show or a job fair, but you could also say, no, let's start connecting the kids at a younger age to what they might want to do, and whether that's trades or a specialty program in college or something else they might want to do. How do you get them engaged with what they might want to do at some point in time? And that probably lines up well with now the new degree requirements, which the state is saying, well, you got to have an idea what you might want to do. You got to have some career-oriented connection in there. So it probably, they're seeing that as an ideal complement to what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, kids are being forced to, pick a career path, make decisions way earlier than ever before. Schools are much more prepared to educate these students in the direction and do a lot of specialized education than we've ever done in the past, which is amazing. So like this fall, for the first time, we did a 7th and 8th grade exploratory career fair, and we had all job opportunities that don't necessarily require a degree. So we worked with a lot of unions, with the local hospitals that you can get a 2-year degree. Ivy Tech was very present, because you can go to Ivy Tech for 2 years and get great degrees. They have phenomenal programs at our Ivy Techs here. It's just amazing what they do. And just all different kinds of opportunities. The training schools, hair salons, massage therapy, all these things that don't require you to go to a 4-year degree. So these kids had a great day. We saw 600 or 700 kids from different schools in Lake County. And
it's probably eye-opening, for them and for you.
It really is. And it was a great day. And, we also do the JA Chambertown. We partner with Junior Achievement and do the 8th grade. It's a day in reality for 8th graders. So that also gets kids thinking about what they want to do, because you definitely see their eyes open up when, somebody is a police officer, unfortunately a police officer, and somebody is a doctor, and the difference in the pay. And they're like, well, my friend next to me
for food.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of money for food.
Yeah. My friend next to me is buying like a house, and I have to have an apartment or whatever. So all that stuff, the earlier, the better that students can, so we're trying to, we're doing it. We're jumping in with both feet, and we're, building these relationships. We have a committee that has teachers and counselors and administrators from schools, and then the PNWs and the IUNs and the Ivy Techs, and then businesses all on one committee. Unions, a lot of the unions have started to join the chamber now, because they see the initiatives that we're taking in this career,
and it lines up with the initiatives that they're taking, because they're saying, I got to reach out to some of these kids, because I think they've seen there's quite a few kids that go through high school sort of thinking, well, I'll probably go to college if it all works out well. And then whether it does work out, or financially or otherwise, then they're thinking at 18, well, what am I going to do now? And I think there's a lot of those folks that if they could explore some of those career or certificate or, smaller degree programs, they might actually intentionally go that route. And then at 18, they actually know what they're going to do.
Right. So, because they have options, and everyone's different, and everybody has a different skill set, and so everybody's important. We need all levels of people to serve, every type of job. So that's a big initiative that's brand new. I mean, not, within like the last 2 or 3 years, where chambers are really having to step up for the communities in a different way than they have in the past. And so fortunately, we positioned ourselves to do some of those things.
You mentioned how chambers have had to adjust themselves, position themselves, respond to changes. You don't seem to view that as drudgery of, oh my gosh, we got to keep on evolving. You seem to see it as like, that's where the fun is in life. Like,
Yeah,
let me
great.
keep reinventing ourselves.
Yeah, we love
And
it.
it's not a burden that I have to, it's an opportunity that you get to.
I mean,
Am I reading that right?
Heck yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, I report to my executive committee and my board of directors, and they hired me to make the chamber the best that we can be. And if that means evolving with the times and shifting and doing things that require more, then that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to, I mean, yes, of course, we do a lot of the same things over and over that are very successful. Our golf outing is very successful. And, a lot of the things that we do are. So, but with everything, we always, every year, try to still make changes to everything that we do.
Yeah.
So people aren't just being like, oh, well, it's going to just be the same thing it always was every year, that we offer a different game when they come to play golf, or, we do different things. Like we had our corn roast meeting this morning, which has been happening in the city of Crown Point for over 50 years.
Wow.
And we're going to do t-shirts this year for the first time ever. I'm like, why didn't anybody ever sell corn roast t-shirts before?
Like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, maybe. Or,
something. Yeah. So we're talking about having high school art kids from Crown Point design the t-shirts, do a little competition or contest or whatever. We thought that might be kind of fun. So we just talked about that this morning. So we don't just like go, okay, well, here we are. We got these, we got these, we got this. It's not a checklist. We figure out how we can make it better, how we can change things up. So we're constantly, even within our own events, making changes, and then always finding new opportunities for us to help our members. I mean, our members are, they pay us money to be a member. So they want value for their membership. And so we can't just continually always do what we did, because everything's changing all the time, even for them. So we have to change with them.
Yeah. It's interesting and great that you're involving a Crown Point High School student or students, whatever, in designing that, because there's so much talent inside of those schools. I look at it from our media standpoint. Crown Point High School Media is probably the largest media organization in the whole entire region. Like, and I'm talking real companies like our company and newspapers and TVs and radio. I mean, they have more people on that team. I bet you, I'm guessing here, nervously out loud, that there's 60 kids involved in their journalism program.
My daughter went through that program.
Awesome. We've hired multiple people from that program. The woman that runs our social team, or the woman that used to run our social team was from their program. We probably hired 5 reporters from that program. Mary Fridas Flores, who as the communications director for the city of Crown Point, was a #1 student of ours in high school at 16. And now is our boss as we work for the city of Crown Point. So I love the interaction with the schools, but a lot of people don't realize there's so much talent inside those high schools, and it's not just kids making memes or reels. These kids are making beautiful films. They're making printed magazines. They're making great sports coverage. They're learning to do everything that we do at school, and they're coming out of high school ready to go. Like, there's quite a few of these kids out of high school that most media, advertising, local, consumer information companies would hire in a heartbeat.
In fact, I mean, my daughter was totally in that situation. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but she went to Arizona State, to the Walter Cronkite School there, and we attribute her getting into that school because she went to Crown Point.
Yep.
And all the phenomenal, and then, she was so far ahead of the game when she went there. It was crazy.
What is it that makes it so important? And I think this is absolutely an area where you guys are head and shoulders above almost anybody I've ever seen. You make going to a chamber event fun.
Because I think we all just really love our jobs, and we really want to see our chamber members succeed. We do. We really, really want our members to thrive and succeed. And I think that we're just super happy that we're having an event. We're bringing people together. We have great relationships with our members. We really try to get to know them. And, a lot of our chamber members are friends with each other because of the chamber. And so I think that people, and we say there's no wallflowers at our lunches. You will be greeted by an ambassador. You won't be alone.
Yep.
You can sit at a new member table. That we really try to be engaging from the get-go when people walk into any of our events. We don't want any wallflowers, and we don't want anyone leaving and never coming back because no one talked to them. And
Yep.
because we hear that so many times, well, we went, nobody talked to me. And because while, yes, you're supposed to know how to network, it's still intimidating if you're by yourself or breaking in. And so we try not to let that happen, where we try not to let you be by yourself, and that we have ambassadors immediately that will greet you or take you around or introduce you to someone else. So I just think we've just created this really great sense of awareness, and that people know when they come that they're going to, have a good experience and be greeted. So I think that's most of it. I think that I think my office, the girls that work for me just elude friendliness, and we're just super welcoming. And I think that it just kind of shows people all the time that we really do want you to be
engaged.
Yes. And thriving.
Yeah. And I just see it as it has levity to it. It has fun to it. A lot of times you think, okay, there's a business networking thing. Okay, I'll pull my tie a little tighter and I'll get my business card ready. And that happens. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely like, hey, let me give you my card. It was great talking to you. I really enjoyed catching mm-hmm. up. And it's not like, hi, my name is Bob. I sell insurance. Here's mm-hmm. my card. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes it a lot more approachable, particularly for younger people. Younger people don't want to sit around and have lunch and share a couple cards and go back. They're almost like, well, what's the point? Right. They want to engage. They want to meet people.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I do think we have a reputation of being connectors and hosting great events and getting the turnout for our events. I mean, we do have, and every time after a lunch, if somebody hasn't been, they're like, this is crazy that you get this many people at your events. And
they're having a good time. Like, mm-hmm. You go to some of them and there could be a couple hundred people at the event, but you're like, yeah, it just seems like we're all just waiting for the speaker to speak, and then they speak and we all eat our lunch and we go away. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, like this is, if you're going to work.
No, I can't get people to sit down.
Yeah. I have
to get on the mic for, 10 minutes before just to make sure people sit down. So people
or
don't
you're
come.
Rick to be quiet or Kyle to be quiet.
Just be like all the above.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people don't come into our lunches and just sit down.
Yeah.
And, we don't even want that to happen. So that's, we have lots of opportunities to continue to make people stand up before, because we take a survey of our members after, every time. It's always the networking that is the key. Yeah. And that's what they want. So we try to incorporate networking in almost everything we do, but we feel a sense of obligation to continue to do education and, support our members with the information that they need. So we build in a lot of time at our lunches, like 45 minutes just for them to network, and people don't sit down for 45 minutes till the program starts.
And that's where the difference is. Others, you might walk into the lunch and then 30 minutes they're mostly sitting at a table waiting to eat. And they're like, God, there's no point to this,
Right.
And the whole point is to get together and talk.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about you've developed, or you've been always very open to partnerships with other organizations, with complementary groups. Like you've brought in a variety of different speakers. You're working with tourism, you're working with government entities. You got obviously a super close relationship with Maryville and Crown Point. How do partnerships figure into what you're doing or what your premise is?
Partnerships is a part of our strategic plan. You have to partner together. Nobody should have to do this alone. I can't do everything by myself, and I need other community leaders and partners to partner with so we can all get the message out together and support each other. So anytime we have the opportunity to partner with someone, we take it, we ask for it. We, can we partner with this on you? We go after it, because it just continues to open eyes for people of what the chamber does too. If you can get a whole nother audience at your meetings that maybe wouldn't come there because they're to support another organization, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, what's this chamber all about? And what do you guys do? It just helps. So yeah, I think partnering is key. Everybody in Northwest Indiana talks about all the silos that we live in on a regular basis. I try to break those silos. And I think partnering and doing things with other organizations is one way to do it, right? So
when I came here, it appeared, I'm from Illinois, I lived in Chicago my whole life. When I moved here 18 years ago, it seemed like the region shot inward sometimes more often, and meaning, well, they attacked each other rather than like, how about we just all band together and we attack the rest of the world? And it seems like that's evolved dramatically, particularly over the last 5 years, even 10 years. It's with social rail or with regional development or bringing the bears here, whatever the heck it is. There's more cooperation or partnership among people in the region. And it seems like those that have been trying to collaborate, get along, work together are making their way. They're making it happen.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot throughout the years. I think we still have some work to do, but everybody still wants their organization to be on top, no matter what you do, right? So, but I do think that it's definitely gotten a lot better and than it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any folks that you want to particularly shout out that you've engaged with over the last year, or you are more in the coming year, like any new developments on the chamber side that are noteworthy to share with folks?
Well, we just did a pickleball tournament, and our pickleball tournament supported our foundation. So a lot of people don't know that the chamber also runs a 501c3, which is Crossroads Connects.
Okay.
And that is the foundation that supports our high school scholarships and our education fund. So we do, in addition to our high school scholarships, we recognize 2 or 3 teachers of the year every year at our annual gala, and we provide money to some community foundations through the schools. So like the Maryville Community Foundation, we support those foundations in Lake County as well with the teachers who were nominated. So we need, so we're really wanting to grow our foundation, which is to continue to support opportunities and workforce. And so the pickleball tournament was the first event that we've ever designated the funds to our foundation.
The foundation, yeah. And I wasn't there, but I saw the pics. It looks like everybody had a good time.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It was really a great time, and it was fun to partner with the Crossroads YMCA and their new pickleball courts in Crown Point. They're absolutely beautiful if you have not been yet. And I think I'm hooked on pickleball now. I really wasn't even planning on playing that day, and somebody had to leave early, and so I'd never played pickleball, and they
recruited you.
They did. That's a good word.
That's
I was trying to find out the word I wanted to use.
Service mentality that just says, "Oh, I'm being called upon. I better go help."
Yes.
And so it brought you to be a pickleball player.
It was fun. Did we win? I think we won one game, but it was a fun day. I definitely think it's going to get legs for next year, so we'll probably have more participation, and everyone there really enjoyed it. So so we were excited to finally host an event that goes towards the foundation and get more money so we can,
give more positive impact.
Money to high school seniors, or direct the money towards education and workforce. So that's what our goal is through the foundation. So I feel like I've been at the chamber 6 years in January, and
probably only seems like 40.
And so I feel like now we have a lot of momentum, really good momentum behind us, and that we can work on the foundation and continuing to branch out and do other things now that we have a really good, solid foundation of really good programs, really good events, and we can just continue to lead.
You've got a great team, and you mentioned they just bring that energy to them. Like as soon as you walk in the room, they're glad to see you. Hey, it's great to see you. And I'm always thinking, God, is it me? And then I see them say that same thing to the next 5 people. And you're like, no, they're just actually that nice.
They really are. They really are. I do feel so blessed and fortunate every day to have a team like them. They really help me because they're like, they know the members and they're really really in the trenches with them. So yeah, I'm so thankful every day to have them all. They're great people. They're very likable. And that's half the battle, right? When you're trying to entertain, you've got to be likable and you've got to like what you're doing and want to help people. And I feel like we all kind of have that. That's like Nikki, my director of membership, worked at the Radisson with me. And so I think if hospitality is in your blood, it's always in your blood. And being in a chamber in a leadership role, you have to be hospitable and you have to be welcoming. So I think that that's just who we are as people.
And it's fun to watch you meet them sort of where they are. So if they're a little shyer, you're going to bring that out in them. If they're Kyle, you're going to say, Kyle, stop talking so much. Then if there's somebody else, if they're not as engaged, you're going to connect them to the people. And that's really what they're looking for. They're looking to develop their circle of influence, their contacts, their relationships, and you're helping them.
Yeah. And we want people to know that while yes, cliche as it is, that, the more you put into something, obviously the more you get out, right? It's in everything, in every situation with life. So of course we want our members to be engaged, but our members do have lots of opportunity to be engaged with the chamber without having to attend our events. And I know people really only find value in their membership if they can actually attend events. So that's the other thing that we're working on right now, is trying to create value for our members that can't come to events.
Yep.
So we've started an advocacy page where it keeps you up to date on what's happening and what laws are bills and things like that. So you might know how it will affect your business. And what we can do to support you that way. We're members of the Indiana Chamber, so they have some programs that our members can take advantage of. We are members of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, so our members can have opportunities. So we can do so many of those things without having you be engaged.
Yeah.
Last May, we started an Ask the Expert total webinar at noon where people could log on maybe while they were eating lunch. And it's very focused on small business needs. We did a 4-part series. Right now we're on our 3rd part of QuickBooks and learning. So, we really try to, because it's our small businesses that can't come out for the lunch. So what can we do?
I'm operating my business. I can't go to lunch.
Right.
Yeah.
So what can we do to help them find value out of their membership? So we're always trying to think of different ways. And I mean, honestly, our website, I don't really know what to compare it to, but it sounds like a lot to me. From our website gets phenomenal hits from, you probably know, January 9th to like February 9th, basically. We had 34,000 hits on our website.
Wow.
So
you've also put a lot into that, though. Like, I know the rebranding you did, all the work you did and people think about a rebrand and they're like, oh, well, you're just going to change the look on the logo. You guys took rebrand, in my estimation, to the absolute epitome of what it should be, is that permeates your culture.
Yes.
It's not just, oh, we're using blue and yellow. It's no, we're communicating in a completely different form. And it comes in your emails, it comes in your presentations, it comes in your graphics, it comes on what you put on the screens, it comes in every event invitation you have. Like, you guys decided to do branding in the comprehensive way. And it's not just the colors and the look. It's, no, we're going to talk to you like adults and we're going to tell you the values that we bring. And I think it's been excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really happy with it. And we never fluctuate from our brand. And I think it works because I have so many people tell me like they instantly know it's a chamber, and that they know it's our chamber. And I just, my marketing girl, Kayla, she knows that everything we do is on brand. Like, even when we send out like a Valentine, thing like, on Facebook, it's still blue.
Yep.
Might have hearts, but, and it really does help. It helps with everything, identifiable for sure. And so, we really enjoyed our
And it's a theme. It's
rebranding.
not just like necessarily colors and a look.
Yeah.
this is how we're going to communicate to people. And so your communication is more structured. It's more like it looks the same. It talks the same. It's the same voice. Smart.
Yeah. So super happy with that for sure.
When you think about Northwest Indiana, this is a pretty exciting time. As I mentioned before, you guys have sort of become the region's chamber. I don't know that there's been a heck of a lot of time where there's so many things pending that are happening. I mean, you had the casino get developed. You got the Bears Stadium potential. You got opportunities to develop major park facilities. There's data centers.
The convention center.
There's a convention center that's going to get built. There's downtown reinvestments. There's quite a bit happening. There's an awful lot happening on sports development, like in Hammond and Crown Point, where they're doing things that are tourism oriented. How do you stay abreast of all that? Like, how do you, there's a lot to stay on top of.
It is a lot. And I mean, honestly, we're not really afraid to jump into anything. So if anybody wants us to leap into it, we're going to do it. It's super exciting for Northwest Indiana, what could potentially be down the pipe for us. And so we want to be there. We want to be there. We want to be involved at any capacity that we can support. We will be there. So,
and it seems like now it's not just we'd like to be there. I think you've sort of earned a place.
Well, thank
there.
you. I appreciate that.
And you again, you talk about major developments, like putting a convention center here. That's a massive amount of impact. And you know darn well, because you were there when at 65 and 30, that impact was there of a major destination. And whether it's there or in Gary or Hammond or Hope, wherever that ends up going, and I know it's decided it'll be up in Gary, but wherever
Hammond,
that ends up
or
making
Gary,
its impact, that tells loads of jobs. And like what I saw on the Bears thing, that to me was very exciting, is it's not that is Gary going to get it or Hammond going to get it or Portage, throw their hat in the ring. Are they going to get it? The point is there's 3 very viable locations in Northwest Indiana that honestly you couldn't ignore if you're the Bears when you're considering opportunities.
Right.
And to have 3 different cities have enough going for them that they could make a legit proposal, that's pretty darn unique.
It is. It really is. If the Bears look at it totally from a financial obligation, their obligation would be to come to Northwest Indiana, right?
Yep. But it also tells loads of other developers of other athletic, teams or other function spaces. Somebody wants to build a concert venue, whatever the heck it is. All of a sudden, there's multiple people saying, "Oh, Indiana's open for business right inside Northwest Indiana. Wow, they got great tax benefits, great locations, 3 different properties of significant size that could be developed." So it's a great recruiting tool, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think it's all great. I think everything that's going on right now is positive. We're looked at very highly, I think, right now, a lot more than we were in the past by, the Indianapolis squad or whatever. So I think that, I think we positioned ourselves well up here. And, I'm excited to be a leader of an organization that has an opportunity to has a voice.
Yeah. You got a seat at the table. You got a very positive message to deliver at the table, and the table's getting bigger. Anything else you want to close with? Any great words of wisdom to the young leaders starting out? How do they get in your spot? How does someone work through the challenges of workplace dynamics and, various management structures? How does somebody get to be where you're at someday?
I mean, honestly, I don't really feel like my journey to get here was super hard. I worked hard. I was very committed and diligent. I always stayed positive, talked great about my employers, tried to always make an impact wherever I went, no matter what role I was in, starting out as a front desk clerk all the way, where I am today. I just feel like you always should want to have a voice, not be afraid to share your voice. Politely and, kindly share your voice with how you would want to be treated. And I think that once you have some influence and show people that you just want to do the best job you can do for you and support everything that's going on. I just feel like you can get there, follow your dreams, work hard, and don't burn any bridges.
Yep.
Because you never know what comes around goes around. And I, most of the time, just stay positive. I know with you, Chris, I'm kind of talking to the choir, but I think that you just need to have a good head on your shoulders, and you can do just about whatever you want to do. So,
well, thanks for being here.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
sharing a
having
little
me,
bit
Chris.
of wisdom. Thanks for encouraging folks that are earlier on the path, how to actually get to the path. And it sounds like it's good common sense advice. And let's keep spreading some good.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Chris. Appreciate you.